All right, so message center post for March today. We're going to kind of go through and look at the big picture ones. Interesting enough, there were not a ton of Copilot ones. I see trends every once in a while. Not a lot of Copilot, but yet some of the Copilot ones are kind of some big ones to keep in mind. But a lot on the team side, a lot on the SharePoint side, which, by the way, if you did not see that, the 25th anniversary of SharePoint was last week. There was a great celebration, so thank you for some people that dropped into the Innovation Hub for that. But there were a lot of announcements, and we're actually going to talk about some of the announcements here. But understand, obviously, everything else that we're doing, it's all AI powered. So there's some really cool things that are coming down the pipeline. So take a look at that when you get a chance. But for now, let's get into it. We're going to start with SharePoint right away. And one of the things they did announce last week was they are doing a new SharePoint experience. And part of this is driven by AI as far as being able to create things and doing it from a central hub. And when I mean things, I'm talking about the sites, the lists, the libraries, all that can be done from this new experience that you're talking about, right? So this is starting off here, early March to late April for public preview, targeted late April to early May, and then worldwide across all of the tenants, early May to late May. And basically, you're going to get some different experiences. So there's going to be a discovery page where you can see all the sites that you have access to, discover new information that's coming to that. You'll be able to publish, Hub to be able to bring your pages together, your news together, all those different things that you need in here. And it's actually being powered by Viva Amplify, which you should be understanding about what that is. We've had some sessions in the past about that. You can create your sites, you can create your lists, your libraries, and it's all AI generated or AI powered. So you get say, what kind of a site do you want? It will actually build that site for you. And there were some really cool demos that they showed during that session last week overall. So big change happening fairly soon. Be ready for that. Thanks, Pete, for throwing in the pictures as well as the announcement overall. Along with that, not just that site area, but there's going to be new pages template gallery. And by the way, it's not just about pages, it's also about news, right? So single point to be able to create your news post or you create your pages and all these templates. There's going to be 31 new templates that are going to be coming out here worldwide late March to early April. And great, basically, there's going to be a couple different ways to get to this template gallery. You can go through site settings, you can go through site content, you can do site onboarding, or even the Stream app will allow you to be able to access that as well. But it's the idea, it's a unified page for both your section for both your pages and your news templates that you're going to have out there. So make sure your users know what the heck is going on with this, because this is a big change. And I don't know about you, I must have been under a rock, but I didn't know about quick steps in SharePoint. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is a great little tool. Guess what? Quick steps already started, moving out, is going to be a column type inside your list or libraries. So think about it as if I need to be able to do an action on an email, and I don't want to call a Power Automate flow to do that. I'm able to do an email or a chat, right? Approvals, those types of things, or even call an automated flow if I need to, as that column updates, right? So it's automatically done at that point, right? So the feature is going to be enabled by default, and it respects permissions that are within that SharePoint site. So it's interesting, that column type being a quick step now. Pretty cool capability to keep that in mind and let your users know about this change happening. All right, so here's an admin one. I'm throwing this out there because I know that a lot of admins have been, this is kind of one of the bane of existence when it comes to a OneDrive sync on that computer. Admins will be able to configure a custom local OneDrive sync root folder name using the new policy, right? So they can actually dictate what that folder name is going to be and not go out what we dictate, right? So you'll be able to customize that as needed. Understand that new users, after this policy has been deployed, new users automatically set up. But you have existing users, they're going to have to unlink from their previous version of that OneDrive and then relink. So there's going to be some, adoption change management components that you want to be able to do in there. So keep that in mind. It's an opt-in. So it's one of those things that if you guys don't have a problem with it, just keep it as is. That's the way to do it. Otherwise, if you do choose to opt in, then you're going to have to be ready with that new policy and go there. All right, so moving away from that part of it, let's go to Teams. There's a couple things happening on the team side of things. So early April to late April, you're going to be able to get a little bit more of a customization for your meeting windows that you have, looking at those who are attending versus the content. So you're going to have a new resizable divider that then you can adjust as necessary. So examples you see here on the screen, the ability to be able to say, hey, I want to be able to have everybody on there, but I want to have not just one row, I want to have multiple rows. You can swap positions of shared content in the video gallery. This works in Spotlight, this works in pinned videos, and even speaker views that are available in Teams overall. And by the way, this is just going to get enabled early April to late April as it comes out. So make sure your end users know what's going on with that. Again, on the team side of things, DTMF has been one of those things that, and this is the dial tone multi-frequency scenario. So one of the things that, and I did a lot of Teams phone pieces dealing with organizations that need to be able to get through IVRs or auto attendance to be able to bring somebody into a call or a meeting. DTMF is the way to be able to do that. So that's that dial tone, that dial pad that I can use to be able to type in the information to get through the auto attendant to get to somebody, or an IVR to get to somebody. So now if I'm managing a meeting and I need to bring somebody in or consult with somebody, right? I'll be able to now do that piece of it with that PSTN user, right? So this is a big step. Finally, we're getting this. This is not something that I've been talking with my customers for probably 2 or 3 years now. That have been a big deal. And so we're really finally getting into that at this point. And another little change on the team side of things is more on the chat side, right? So it's targeted March, coming out to everybody else late March to mid-April. This is an update to the quick views. And one of the things that's going to end up happening is that you're going to be able to say, when do I want to see this, this category, right? The at mentions or the follows. Do I always want to see it? Do I want to see it when there's something is unread? So that top section underneath your Copilot area, it can be flexible, right? So it'll show if something's there. If it doesn't, then it's not going to show. So it's going to really be about those mentions, the followed threads, and the tags area that you have up there, right? So keep that in mind. You will be able to have that ability to flip that on. So it's always on or only when unread is in there. And that's going to be Windows, Mac, and web versions. No configurations needed. It's just automatically going to happen. All right, on the Copilot side, so a couple things that are happening, some big ones. Number one, being able to see all your chat history. What were they calling it? Infinite scroll is coming here in March, right? So being able to see all those conversations that you've had and be able to quickly find the one that you want, right? So understand that that's coming to that left-hand navigation here at the end of March. So that's a quick one, but I think it's an effective one. Another one that's been on our list ever since Copilot came out, and I think Michelle could probably agree with me, is being able to have a branded footer inside Copilot chat to say, hey, this is us. This is our approved Copilot, right? So making sure that it's an us versus the free version that's out there for people to use as well. So right now, in this iteration, it's a logo only. Right, so there is talk about being able to do more than just the logo, but you'll see that logo down below and it'll be approved by with that logo in there. So keep in mind, yes, Michelle, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I wanted to also add that if you already have your logo in SharePoint, then it will automatically populate into Copilot. So make sure you check that out. If you do have it, then automatically it will come over. And then, of course, putting controls around it if you want to have that removed.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you, Michelle, for adding that. All right, so not much more than that, but just so you know, that is going to be an option here in March into late April. All right, so get to the quick mentions, and then we'll get to our other pieces to our session today. Few quick, some Copilot ones that were brought in here. Number one, if you're familiar with shared and delegate mailboxes, we've been able to use Copilot paid licenses for a little while now, being able to say, hey, this is the mailbox. I have delegate rights to that. I have full control. I can get into it. That's been out for a while. Now it's come into Copilot chat. So those who do not have the Microsoft 365 Copilot license, they will be also able to go in Outlook and be able to access shared and delegate mailboxes as well with Copilot. There is an update coming in June, disabling team meeting recording expiration notification. That is being removed, basically. And what that basically is saying is that if a meeting recording is being expired, we've been getting emails and they've been getting a lot of feedback. Hey, we don't want those emails. We understand, we just don't need to have all that extraneous notifications coming into our inbox. So that will be going away starting in June 1st of this year. All right, another one around Teams, but this is about the Copilot with transcription side of things. By the way, this is going to become default for your meetings, right? For newly scheduled meetings where Copilot is allowed in your organizations. That's flipping over here late April to mid-May. On the back end side of things, there's a new AI admin role that's being added into Entra specifically for supporting Agent 365. Now, currently, if you're familiar, and we haven't really talked about Agent 365 yet, but if you haven't, if you've heard about what it is ultimately the ability to be able to manage all of your agents within your tenant, right? So I'm talking about first-party agents, custom agents, even third-party agents that you have, and being able to manage those. Well, up until this point, right, that's happening, actually, it's probably happening right now. You had to be a global admin to be able to do that administration. So now there's going to be an AI administrator role that's going to be able to support Agent 365 as that's being deployed. And I think even this morning, I think we had an announcement specifically that was saying that Agent 365 is coming out here 1st of May, along with some other items as well. All right, flipping on the other side. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, local files via the new Outlook for Windows. This is matching a feature that's already out there for Classic. So now we'll be able to have locally stored files that are not in OneDrive be sent as an attachment, which before there was a limitation because they were not available unless they were in OneDrive or SharePoint for that matter. On the Copilot side, there is a big change happening. If you're familiar with this, and we talked about this in the past, this thing called agent mode. And agent mode is transitioning. So now that it's finally in, it's actually not going to be called agent anymore. It's going to be edit in Copilot. Thank you for that, Michelle, about that recent announcement. But edit in Copilot basically is in Word, Excel, PowerPoint will also get it as well. So basically it's just turning on agent mode all the time, right? So if I want to do anything, ultimately what's going to happen is when I start doing something in Copilot, it's going to do it in the document without just showing it to me in the panel, right? And that's really ultimately what it should be doing. So Word's getting it now. We're going to see Excel getting it. We're going to see when PowerPoint comes out, PowerPoint will get it as well. There was a big one, and this is already currently deploying into late April, by the way, simplified file transfer departing employees, it's just going to be a much better experience. And it's all going to be driven by your manager of that particular person that left the organization. So notifications are going to get updated, improve filtering for the manager to locate and share files from that particular OneDrive, bulk file transfer, and even retaining the shared that has happened on those files. And then consolidation of alerts. Like, it's not going to send you individual alerts as things are progressing. It's going to give you a combined alert information. So that's a big change that's happening currently right now. And then from this, for quick mentions, the last one I want to mention, there is a new Teams administrator called the External Collaboration Administration role. That's happening here mid-March to late, and it's all about external access for federated domains, as well as disallow external domains. So it's really, separating the duties a little bit more to be able to have focused on just those that deal with those external users overall. So the one thing I do want to note, there's no access to Teams Admin Center, and it's all PowerShell once that RBAC role is configured. All right, admin actions. The only one I want to call out, and this hasn't changed for a little while, is SharePoint Designer 2013 ends of support. The same day that InfoPath and InfoPath services and SharePoint are going to be end of support. So July 14th, 2026. Make sure you haven't done it yet. Get them over to Power Automate before end of support. As always, keep up with the stuff that's in your, I think that's a great idea, Michelle. Keep up the stuff within the Message Center, but also know there's community hubs out there. There's blog posts that are happening constantly on a lot of this stuff. And they're always trying to update the roadmap. So those are the links there. You can get to those.
Perfect. Lots of updates. Thanks so much, Don. Lots to talk about there, and make sure that your teams that govern those spaces are well aware. So I love that we record those. Like I said at the top of the hour, it's something that is a must-have. That create a lunch and learn every single month. But honestly, as I guess I would say an M365 Copilot or M365 architect in my previous life, I was looking at that every day. So your Message Center updates, super important. And I know we've had a pretty incredible speaker a couple years ago that walked us through taking that Message Center posts, putting them into Planner, and automating them into buckets, and then mentioning their Exchange admin or their SharePoint admin to triage. So cool things in that space. I think there's cooler things that we can maybe show in the next few months too, around another solution that's even better. So look for that in the future. But right now, let's go ahead.